Well, hello, my favorite people. How is everybody out there in the world of YouTube and in the world of Facebook? Just giving you a quick heads up. I have had the live stream scheduled with Scott Reader, but we will have to reschedule for tomorrow. Hopefully, everything will work fine tomorrow. So I just wanted to let you guys know we're still on. Yes, trying to coordinate everybody's busy schedules here. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. So I still have the stream scheduled for tomorrow around 1 p.m., February the 15th, with Scott Reader. And I just wanted to come and say a quick hello, guys. No worries. Scott is coming around. So we're waiting for the next time we get together, hopefully tomorrow. So everybody type in from what countries you're in, say hello. I know everybody's worried about aliens and Chinese balloons out there. It's a bizarre story. We know about that. It's like every day they're shooting some unidentified new object. I was going to ask Scott Ritter about it too. So we'll see how it turns out. We have Gary, Katie, I'm sorry, Reese, USA, excellent. We have Croatia, Francis Grimley, welcome. We have Morocco, perfect. Yes, guys, Sweden, here we go. Jeanette, wonderful, welcome. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are worried about aliens. I mean, nothing will surprise me with Biden being our president, really. We have New Zealand, welcome. So yeah, a lot of news I have seen it, and it's just I actually have a lot of good information and some videos prepared for you for my next live. But I was hoping to do this one. Hello from Spain, Ida, wonderful. I was hoping to do this one with Scott, so I didn't really prepare anything for you to show this minute. But I did want to come back and say, hey guys, we're hoping to do live tomorrow. Biden is the biggest alien, says Katie. Yeah, I think that you're onto something there. He definitely leads us towards some unknown worlds, right? And unknown places. Wonderful. We have Daniel, Canada. We have Portugal. We have another Canada. Wonderful, guys. Thank you so much. And I think that a lot of us, I don't know, you guys worried in Canada about all these unidentified objects. I've heard Colonel McGregor said it's pretty much a distraction. It seems bizarre that on a Super Bowl Sunday, we have Pentagon come out and give us a press conference about unidentified object. And the US Air Force general says that as to reporters' comment, can you say if it's extraterrestrial? He says, well, I can't comment on that. I'll let intelligence community comment on it. I'm thinking, are they building it up to some type of alien invasion? I mean, like, what is going on? And then there is article after article that, oh, we cannot tell you what object it was. One of them was octagonal. One of them was the size of the small car. And we sent these expensive fighter jets to take them down, but we still don't know what they were. We might be looking for some debris to give us some clues. I'm thinking, people, this sounds like a kindergarten stuff. I mean, really? You don't know what it is? I thought satellites can read the names of the gravestones. So yeah, it seems like a bizarre story all over. So I'm hoping to I second them, says Vladimir Pastukhov. Thank you. I was hoping to ask Scott Reader about what he thinks about Biden and alien invasion that they're building up in front of our eyes. It's like, where are these people going with that? And sorry, it's all a distraction, says L. Christie. The story is BS. The only invasion you will see is holographic. I don't know. They try to pin it on Chinese. Biden is from the other world, says Alan. Oh, yeah. He's definitely outwardly, let's put it this way. He's not acting like the American president that one would expect. But yeah, they building this up. First, they were building the case against China. Oh, this China is spying on us. This is all China's fault. Well, uh, Colonel McGregor, who used to be a senior advisor to Trump's administration, Secretary of Defense, came out and said, "People, this is all a distraction. Chinese don't need a balloon to spy on us." He said they can hear everything that White House is saying, and they have satellites that can read the names on our gravestones in here in America. So he says this is all a very much of a distraction to take American people's minds off from what it really is happening. And then Snowden, he came out yesterday, and I read an article that he says it's a distraction from what's happening and budgets and in Ukraine and inflation. And I know that Congress right now, United States Congress is holding hearings on what they call weaponization of government. So Twitter executives are testifying. They're looking into story of Hunter Biden laptop suppression in Congress. So every time there is Hunter Biden story is being looked at closely by someone somewhere, and next thing we know, there is some type of a major distraction is coming up. But of course, it's just insane. I mean, read some of these articles. They shot 4 unidentified objects. They had to come out on Super Bowl Sunday to tell us about them. And then they implied that the origins are unknown. And this could be extraterrestrial, you know. And then the next day, White House spokesperson comes out and says, "Oh, well, we cannot confirm that there is any aliens or something, you know, to the terrestrial," I think she said, or extraterrestrial nature of these objects. I think in people, it sounds like they can't agree on what narrative to push on us. They need to get together more often, because it's definitely all over the place, and it sounds like a kindergarten stuff. Really is ridiculous. Let's see some more comments we have. Let's see. Chinese party balloons are so sophisticated that Pentagon and USA intelligence is unable to determine what it actually is. Yeah, I was going to say, this sounds like some type of kindergarten, and they just can't agree what type of narrative to sell us. And it sounds like they didn't prepare it too well. They keep, you know, fumbling the ball every day, you know, raising, first it's Chinese, now it's extraterrestrial possibility, then it's back to Chinese. I mean, really, people send each other an email, get each other a text message, agree on what are you trying to dumb us down into, because it seems to me, I read so many articles that it's just insane. They think we're total kindergartners and we don't understand anything. It's stupid. It's silly. I don't even use the word stupid. Wow, I'm impressed. They got that out of me. We have Senegal. Welcome, James. Hello from Netherlands. Excellent. We have enjoying life from Ohio, enjoying hotspot and all that crazy mess. Well, you're lucky if you're enjoying this crazy mess. I am in Michigan, and of course, they shot this object someplace over Lake Huron, and it supposedly was flying over Michigan. So I'm like, okay, do we have aliens or do we not have aliens flying over Michigan? Can Pentagon please come out and be clear about it? I mean, seriously, no, they're not clear about it. They want to keep us guessing. It's between Chinese and aliens. So you people pick your pick, American public. So they give you 2 choices. You know, pick one of the 2. Ricky says, this is preparations for war. Tensions between the US and Russia are high, and tensions between US and China are high. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Antonio Guterres, the secretary of UN, I guess, UN secretary, came out the other day, and he said that the world is not sleepwalking. The world is marching into the bigger war, he said. And he says that something along the lines that current strategy is not only reprehensible or something like that, it's also immoral to subject world to this new, wider, bigger war that the world is marching towards. I'm thinking, wow, that's very nice, Mr. Guterres, that you just noticed that we have had these wars for the last, I don't know, several decades. And the war in Ukraine was going on since 2014. And you just now telling us that it's reprehensible and this is immoral or whatever it is, the terms that you used. I mean, like all these years, you ignored the war in Ukraine when Ukraine was killing and shelling and still is its own people in eastern Ukraine, Donbass region. So that wasn't a war for you. I mean, that wasn't a big deal. I mean, like, what is going on, Mr. UN Secretary? Yeah, people are really. I mean, they like to come out with all these great big lines. Oh, we're marching to a bigger war. I'm thinking you have ignored just pretty much every war that was already going on to the date. Now you waking up to tell us we have a war that could mushroom into something bigger. It's like unbelievable. Francis says Nord Stream loses in media. Here is Europe weather balloon. Oh, you're right. With a Nord Stream story coming out with Seymour Hersh writing the article saying that in his investigation that he was able to find the sources who point that United States and Norway behind this Nord Stream sabotage. I mean, what can overshadow that story? Oh, yeah, let's bring on aliens. Oh, Hunter Biden's story has surfaced in Congress because Congress is looking into how Hunter Biden's laptop story was suppressed in social media, and Twitter executives are testifying about it. Oh, no, we need aliens to cover up again and to distract American public from any headlines that would read as, you know, Biden's laptop or Biden or something around the Twitter suppression of, you know, weaponization of government. No, aliens are much better headline. Yeah, I agree. That works. Let's see who we have. We may actually see the end of UN as it is, says Fugana. Well, who knows? It sounds like when UN representative, the lady Pramila something, I forget her name, when she came out and claimed that Russian soldiers are given Viagra in order to perpetrate atrocities on Ukrainian women, I don't want to say the words. When she came out and said that and later admitted that she had no evidence of that, and then you go back and Gaddafi soldiers were accused taking Viagra as well. So they're perpetuating the same narratives. But now we actually have a UN representative peddling that to the world population. Yeah, UN, something is wrong with UN. If the lady can make a claim against Russian military forces that they are given Viagra to do atrocities to Ukrainian women and whatnot, and then admits in a prank call later on that no, I don't have evidence of that. I just said it. It's like, really, and that's UN. This is how UN supposed to operate. It's insane. Yeah, who knows how long that will last. So we have Mick Gallagher chemical spill in Ohio, much worse than reported. The balloon fiasco distraction is to keep Americans distracted. Yeah, it's pretty much ridiculous distraction, says Kathy. Tom Casey, UFOs are fun. Yeah, you guys can type if you ever seen a UFO or whatever they call now, unidentified aerial phenomena. So it's not UFOs anymore, it's UAPs or whatever else this new terminology that they want to perpetrate on us again. I mean, seriously, they're rebranding everything. You know, they're rebranding. The truth is now rebranded as Russian propaganda. Why not rebrand UFOs into UAPs or something along those lines. Um, who did I miss? Anybody's comment? United States is out of arms, but not out of lies and hate propaganda for Russians. The war in Ukraine is over. NATO have lost because they are no match for Russians. Well, if you guys saw the Jens Stoltenberg, the NATO chief, European, I guess, NATO chief, he came out the other day and he said that the allies are running, the NATO countries are running out of munition to send to Ukraine. And he said, we need to amp the production because we just don't have enough weapons to give to Ukraine. It's like, really? So no peace is needed, just more weapons, right? So that's what they do. Yeah, it's not even funny. UN is not fit for purpose, says Ben McDonald. Oh, yeah, UN is definitely a question mark now. How many more do I have as far as comments? Let me see if I missed anybody, guys. I saw a UFO in my backyard. Can you call me the FBI? Says Fennon Richie. Yeah, I guess, guys, it's not really all that funny. The UFO, it's UFO, but it's also from China. So which way it is can't be both at the same time. Yeah, China balloon mushroomed into potential UFO. I mean, who knows what these people are up to? They want us to be scared. And hello, Camila. Hello there. And they just want us to be distracted from all that's happening. By the way, the comment about the UFO Fanon made, did you guys know that in 2022, last year, I think early in the year, United States Congress, for the first time in 50 years, actually held a sort of like the hearing in Congress about UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomena. So what they did is they brought in Pentagon, and Pentagon showed some videos of mostly military, I guess, Air Force guys who shot those videos flying around, and they saw something that they couldn't explain or identify. And those videos were presented in Congress. You can Google it. And I think YouTube may even have some videos with the exact footage that Pentagon presented. And Fanon says, I saw UFO in my backyard. Can you call me the police? Well, the truth of the matter is they actually discussed at the hearing in Congress that they will create some type of a better way for civilians now to report these sightings. Apparently, the quote unquote evidence of unidentified object flying airborne in the skies over United States was mostly coming from Pentagon and Air Force, but they were open and were looking into creating some type of a better way of reporting on this phenomenon. People seeing these things flying and then they can tell what these are. Yeah, I know in Michigan, if you Google, when I was Googling the articles in the latest news, there's actually a lot of articles of sightings in Michigan. You can Google them. It's like, yeah, I live at the Lake Michigan. I can see a lot of weird things going on here too. So yeah, and there was one pretty weird things that I saw, and I had another person with me. Gosh, how many years ago was that? Well, at least I'm thinking at least maybe 6-7 years ago. There was something very weird flying, people. I don't want to spook you or scare you, but it made no sound. Let's leave it at that. And I still I kept Googling. It's like, what could it be? Um, and as I was Googling, lots of things pop in, and Google search that Michigan has a lot of this interesting things that people see. And a lot of the times, even in the 90s, some articles, and people cannot explain what exactly it is. So Is it something out there? Well, obviously, the Congress has enough evidence, quote unquote, from military to hold a hearing on UFOs and shows the actual videos and footage. So they have stuff that they can't explain. But the interesting part, how they segued Chinese balloon into unidentified objects. Every day a new one. But no, they can't tell us what it was. One was the size of the car, small car. One was octagonal shape, but we still don't know what it was. I'm like, hello? I mean, really? You don't know what it was? Okay. So you guys know what I'm saying, right? Um, Tom Casey, yeah, Whitmer is very weird. She was on her broom. Tom Casey is talking about our Michigan governor. Okay, Tom Casey, you were being naughty today. I see you. I see it. Ida says, FYI, the NATO chief is Norwegian former prime minister. Yes, exactly. Jens Stoltenberg, former Norwegian prime minister. Now a member of the lying, stealing, cheating, fake gang of people ruling the world, says Ida Armour. Yeah, it's definitely a game, because if you can, in the in the modern day, where we have NATO, basically surveying every inch of every sea and satellites everywhere, they don't know who did it. They don't know who sabotaged the Nord Stream pipeline. Hello. And then, of course, this journalist Seymour Hersh comes out and he writes an article about believing that United States and Norway is behind it. And hey, United States, oh no, it's all lies. Well, United States, then let's make an investigation. Let's investigate it. Let's find out. Russia demanded investigation, but they didn't even allow Russia to be a part of investigation. And an investigation was swept under the rug. And I think Swedes came out and said, oh, we kind of know who did it, but we can't tell anybody. Like, what? So yeah, it's a game. If there is no justice, if they're not looking into who perpetrated the most atrocious sabotage slash criminal activity of terrorism, sabotaging the nation's access to energy. What? And nobody cares to investigate it. Oh my gosh. Russia is the only one who they blamed, and Russia is the only one who demands investigation. And Russia is the only one who has been excluded from investigation. What? So yeah, pretty accurate description, Ida. Francis said, European has lost the war, American has total control. Well, European states are sort of behaving like they're beholden to United States, and whatever United States does, they will do it even at the expense of their own citizens. Remember, I think, wasn't it Annalena Baerbock, foreign minister of Germany? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was her that came out and said that we will support Ukraine, we will arm Ukraine, we'll give Ukraine money, whatever Ukraine needs. And she said, even if my own constituents don't approve, if our own voters in our country are against it, we will still do it. Like, what? So they're not working for the people of their countries. And again, I believe that was her. Annalena Baerbock. You guys can Google and check it out. If it was not her, I doubt. I almost think it's 99.9 that it was her. Regardless, one European politician came out and said that they don't care what the voters think of situation with Ukraine and the help to Ukraine, quote unquote help, meaning weapons, right, to kill more Ukrainians. But they just will do whatever they want. Forget the voters, forget the opinion of the people of this European country. So yeah, it's pretty much gain and vassals of Biden administration. They'll do whatever Biden says. Biden says jump, they jump. Let me see. Exactly, says Caroline. And Seymour Hersh is one of the most courageous and respected journalists in the world. Exactly. I believe doesn't he have a Pulitzer Prize? I believe he was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. Says Aham, excellent, says correct. It was her. Oh, thank you, Aham. Yeah, so it was her, Annalena Baerbock. Thank you. Yeah, because gosh, there is so many of these politicians out there in Europe who once in a while crawl out of the dark and say something that you think, gosh, how did you even come up with something like that? And of course, Annalena Baerbock lately came out and said that we Europeans should not fight against each other because we are at war with Russia. Yeah, that's her, German. What is it? The foreign minister said that we, either Germany or European Union, because she said we shouldn't fight against each other because we was at war with Russia, basically declared war on Russia. Imagine that. These people are insane. Yep, and that's a tragedy of it. Ehem says she's from VEF, World Economic Forum. And Camilla says, yes, Hirschlund distinguished career, real journalism. Yep. Missy, allegedly banking cartel is in charge, not Biden, says Diana. Well, Diana, I'm sure there is more than one player in this. What Biden said, he will lead us to the new world order. Well, he's got to have some soldiers, right? If he is a leader of the new world order, he's got to have some people that he's leading. You know, that whole conglomerate of whoever the elites, like Colonel McGregor, he calls them elites in Washington. So, and of course, we know Obama is still involved in a lot of things, because remember how Obama came out, I think it was spring, maybe April. He gave a speech at one of the universities. I almost think it was Stanford University. I could be wrong, guys. Check me on that. He came out and he said, we need to fight misinformation and disinformation. This should be our new fight. And guess what? Now you can't post anything anywhere because they said, oh, this is this misinformation. Oh, this is that and misinformation. So Obama is somewhere well, live and kicking and determines our policies. So now I read an article that Google is now going to crank up their censorship in Europe in order to fight misinformation and disinformation. And of course, they're saying it's about this war in Ukraine and about elections and about this disease we cannot mention anymore anywhere. If you mention any of these things, oh, it's misinformation. Oh, it's bans. Oh, you can't even post anything about it. Yeah, so Obama is live and kicking, probably one of the behind the scenes gray cardinals of Biden's policies. In other words, they're all involved. They're all in cahoots. Is cahoots even a word, guys? And we have Luis in Haramas. Obama is ruling from behind. Maybe he comes out to candidate for presidency again. Yeah, Obama's definitely not gone. Have you guys seen that? Google it up. You will be amazed. Few months ago, Obama visited White House. The Democrats had some type of a get together there. And you could see that they're all kind of with little groups talking to each other. And Biden is walking behind them, trying to join in on one of the little group's conversations, including the little group that is sort of flocked around Obama. He's like, Barack, tapping him on the shoulder. The guy doesn't even look back, doesn't even turn around. And Biden is, okay, he couldn't get involved and talk to this group. Then he tries to cling to another group. Those ignore him. Yeah, it was quite a show. It's like, wow, this is the president of United States. And all those people in the room, the Democrats, are ignoring him. They wouldn't even turn around when he tries to tap them on the shoulder. So who is ruling the show? I mean, yeah, there is more than one Biden, that's for sure. And Obama coming with this fight against misinformation and disinformation. Who are you? I mean, what do you have to do with misinformation and disinformation? Who are you to determine what is our American free speech should look like in America? But he crawled out of the oblivion and delivered that speech. And surely enough, the big tech picked it up, and now you can say anything without being labeled some type of misinformation, disinformation. It's insane. It is insane. Tom Casey, colluding or conspiring secretary cahoots. Okay, thanks, Tom Casey. Yeah, I was wondering if cahoots is even the word, right? Biden wandering around confused. Yes, Camilla, you have seen that video, right? With Biden walking around like nobody paid attention to him. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is scary. This is the United States president. And the room was full with Pelosi and Harris, Kamala Harris, and Obama and all these top Democrats. And he was just outside of all of their little circles, like totally ignored. That was eye-opening to see. Yeah, you have to feel sorry for him. I mean, he was very disrespectful, I thought. But then again, he's a lot of times disrespectful to other people. So I don't know. Maybe it's what goes around comes around or something like along those lines. Oh, I'm just full of all kinds of different proverbs today. Look at me. Francis Grimley says Obama belongs to Clinton's, and Hillary Clinton is biggest war criminal of the last decade. Oh my gosh, Hillary Clinton. Remember Libya, an ambassador from United States? Oh my gosh, that was horrible. And she got away with it, like she got away with everything else. Mercedes Abbott says, I don't believe Stoltenberg as well as Joe Biden. That world was already of this mess. They had intentionally planned. So we're all in trouble. Frau Baerbock able to apologize, but damage was done. Yes, you're right, Mercedes. In all fairness, the other day there was an article, obviously Baerbock's words about, we're at war with Russia, we shouldn't fight with each other in the EU, probably reached some big ears, and people finally said enough is enough. So she crawled back out and said, well, maybe I shouldn't or I wouldn't, something along the lines. Semi tried to walk it back, what she said about being at war with Russia. But hey, yeah, we've seen how Biden tried to walk back when he called basically for regime change in Russia. Remember in 2022? I believe that was March or May when Biden was in Poland. By the way, he's going to go to Poland again. I've seen some, what they say, unconfirmed articles about it. All the articles nowadays are always unconfirmed, right? So when Biden was in Poland last time, he said, this man cannot remain in power, talking about Vladimir Putin, Russian president. And then, of course, his White House staff tried to walk it back. I was like, well, he didn't quite just mean it this way, but like, really? So Miss Annalena Baerbock, yeah, nice try to save you from the outrage after you practically declared the war on Russia. Good luck with that, Miss Baerbock. But yeah, good point, Mercedes. So we have somebody else says hello. And on this hello, exactly. We have Tom. Elena says, say Viagra again with a accent. Okay, Tom Casey, you are being naughty. Guys, everybody pay attention. Tom Casey being naughty. He tries to have me say something about James Bond, and now it's Viagra or whatever. Yeah, I was talking about UN representative, I think Pramila something rather, whatever her name is, when she came out and said the Russians are giving their army troops Viagra so they could do the atrocities to Ukrainian women. And of course, we know that not UN, but some other ambassador years back basically came out and claimed that Gaddafi soldiers were given Viagra to perpetrate some atrocities. In other words, the time goes by, the people and the talking heads change, but the same ridiculous narratives are being pushed forward on us, American people and people of the world, to perpetrate more wars and more of the same. Unbelievable. So I hope we're learning something. I mean, literally, it's the same rakes. We're stepping on the same rakes. I hope I didn't forget anybody here. We have somebody. We have Malin. What is happening now in Ukraine is just continuation of Obama's war. The same people continue, and Biden doesn't even know what it is about. German foreign minister is a disgrace for Deutschland. Yes, she is a disgrace for Deutschland. When she earlier said that she doesn't care what the voters of Germany will say or think or want, they will just pursue the war in Ukraine and keep arming Ukraine. So that is a disgrace in my book for any public figure or politician who is representing the country to speak this way, that basically disregards their own people. And yeah, Obama and Biden, they basically were in charge when the war in Ukraine started in 2014. And Obama and Biden and Pelosi and Victoria Nuland, they are behind the entire war in Ukraine because they've created it in 2014. Ukraine had a democratically elected president, Viktor Yanukovych, but then EU and United States, at the time Obama administration was Biden being vice president. Also, Republican Senator McCain was involved. He traveled to Ukraine every week or every other week with Biden being there, and Lindsey Graham was there, and John Kerry was in the know. They're all in some type of cahoots again. And then Victoria Nuland basically supported the protesters who were peacefully protested. Then they routed up some of these neo-Nazi thugs, and those guys stormed the capital of Ukraine and pretty much created this violent militant coup. So, and Victoria Nuland proudly stated that the United States spent $5 billion back then to bring democratic changes to Ukraine. Well, those democratic changes was a coup that ousted democratically elected president in Ukraine. And then certain areas of Ukraine who did not agree with the coup, they started to protest. But new coup government started bombing them for protesting against the coup. And that's what started the shelling and the war of Ukraine against its own citizens in Donbass, eastern Ukraine. And then in 2022 comes Russia, because the eastern Ukraine now, after hoping for 8 years that this war will stop and Ukraine will stop shelling them, now they pleaded to Russia. They declared independence from Ukraine. Well, before they wanted to be a part of Ukraine, but then they pleaded to Russia and said, these people are killing us. We've been genocided for the last 8 years. We're, independent. Could you please recognize us? And then we can sign the collective military self-defense agreement. And maybe you can come and save us from these Ukrainian neo-Nazis that are killing us and murdering us for the last 8 years. And so Russia approved that. Russia recognized the independence of eastern provinces of Ukraine, and Russia sent military. So the war has been going on. And who is behind the war? Who started this whole thing? Well, Biden and Obama and the cronies, the Newlands, the Pelosi's, the McCains, the Rhino McCain senator, and the Lindsey Graham, who wants to blame Russia for being a terrorist. Lindsey Graham, look in the mirror if you want to find some people who you want to call terrorists, because you don't just go and terrorize the country, Ukraine, and say that, oh, your democratically elected president has to go, create a war, a civil war in Ukraine, and then come back and say, oh, what Lindsey Graham says, we're happy about the path we're on. As soon as we provide weapons and economic support, Ukraine will fight to a last person. Last person. So American senator wants Ukraine to fight to the last person. Ukrainians, are you listening? Do you really understand what's happening? And after all of that, Lindsey Graham calls Russia a terrorist. Really? Did Russia run around taking down regimes of other countries and oust democratically elected presidents like you, Mr. Graham, and all your cronies, Biden, Obama, McCain, Nuland, Pelosi, and company did in Ukraine? You do understand it's against UN Charter, right, to change regimes in other countries, running around doing it, but you're doing it, and Russia is a terrorist state? Okay, people, let's see some more comments. Maloney says the evil cabal is desperate to steal Russia, Ukraine, land and resources, dollars. Very sad for the loss of life and all those innocent men, women, and children. Yeah, very, very much so. Bring some love around the whole world today. Yes, guys, we need to pray for peace. Absolutely. Doug Sawyer says, tell it. Yes, Doug. Yes, I tell it like it is because somebody has to tell these people that we are now no dummies. We are not stupid. We're educated, capable, articulate, and keen for most part adults of United States are not the plebs they want us to be and the sheep they think that cannot think for themselves. And of course, when Lindsey Graham comes out and speaks to us, I'm thinking, this guy literally thinks that we're like totally nuts. We're crazy. And we're not. We're capable of critical thinking, and that's what they're afraid of. That's why they can't pick which story to push and peddle to us, Chinese balloon or aliens, which would sell better. Yeah, unbelievable. Tom Casey says, true is probably a good time for me to get a mail order on Ukraine bride. I don't know, Tom Casey. You may have missed that bus. All the Ukrainian beautiful women went to Europe already. I think they ran as refugees down there. Alan Curry says something interesting about things getting higher. Bunny says, sick about Viagra. Could it be Zelensky giving it out to his army to blame it on Russians? Just my thought. Many military in Ukraine want out. Yep, Biden and Obama are the one that keep the war going on. Well, you guys, I watched the video the other day. Maybe I'll show it on my next live. The video was of Ukrainian gentleman. He is disabled individual. Due to his vision, he cannot see. And he made a video. Obviously, his mom is helping him with the camera. And he showed the draft notice that he received. And that draft notice said that he is to come and report for duty, to be drafted into Ukrainian army. And he said, how could this be? He says, I am a disabled person with all paperwork that I cannot see, totally blind. And how am I getting this notice to get recruited into the army, in Ukrainian army? And he said, why don't they even check the records? I mean, like, what's going on? Yeah, they literally grab people on the streets now to draft them into Ukrainian army. And that's a sad part. Ukraine is dying. The people of Ukraine are dying, and Biden and Stoltenberg wants just to send more weapons. Oh, guys, just never-ending story. And of course, Biden sounds like he's going to go to Poland pretty soon. And I watched another interesting video. I might play for the next live video. Gosh, who was it? I think it was an Austrian guy. I'm not sure which anymore. I would have to go back and check. And the reporter was asking, how does Ukraine, if Ukraine loses all the soldiers, where are they going to get people? Are we going to have to bring our NATO people and NATO troops on the ground in Ukraine? And whoever that dignitary was, he says, oh, don't worry. You see my uniform? When I take off my uniform and I go and sign a contract to fight in Ukraine, I'll become a mercenary. So in other words, they basically figured the way to bring quote unquote NATO trade guys into Ukraine by having them take off their uniform, sign a different contract with Ukraine, and now they're in Ukraine. So they figured the way for NATO trained army basically to come into Ukraine in the form of quote unquote mercenaries, just take down whatever their country's uniform is and go to Ukraine, sign a contract, you're done. So yeah, it's a very tragic situation with what's happening in Ukraine, and they don't want to stop either. Francis says, haha, UN charter, yeah, USA charter, UN is finished, UN is NATO and USA blah army. Okay, I hope I can piece this message, this coded message together, guys. But yeah, says Vogue Precision, will Poland go nuclear? Well, Poland has been asking United States, and so did Japan, to send them some nuclear weapons. So, yeah, they were asking, and they're willing to host nuclear weapons. The Poland, if it keeps going the way it's going, may not exist by the end when this war is done, because Polish um, officials, they're really calling for some very dangerous things to get involved. Remember when there was those two rockets, and then they said there was two, then there was one that hit Polish land and two civilians died, and Zelensky jumped out and said, oh, these are Russian rockets. And Polish people and Polish, one of their, I don't know if it was prime minister, was it Morawiecki or Duda, or one of them started screaming, oh yeah, we need to get Article 5 together of NATO, deal with Russia. Look, the rockets hit us. And then Estonian jumped out and Lithuania jumped out. They all kinds of like, yes, we need to do something against Russia. Let's call for Article 5. And then finds out the rocket was Ukrainian. The rocket was Ukrainian that hit Polish land. So what? Ukraine attacked Poland. Ooh, but wait a minute. Nothing, no apology from Zelensky. He still kept denying and saying like, oh, we don't really know whose rocket it was. Well, we kind of do, Zelensky. We have photographs. I think some Polish farmer took a photographs of remnants of the rocket. But Poland was ready to go and jump and fight Russia. And it's like, later, I think maybe Duda came out and said, well, I kind of like really had my doubts about this whole thing. But I think Morawiecki or one other people, I mean, they all just want an itch to go fight Russia. And Poland, wake up. You want to fight nuclear power Russia? Are you insane? Yeah, Poland is in one scary place. Francis says, not a war will start from Poland. They want so much. Yeah, it's scary how eager Poland is to get. Oh, welcome back, Katie. Um, Here you are again. Great. Good to see you again. We have Sarah. Oh, yeah. You said you remember Ukrainian rocket. Yeah, that was Ukrainian rocket, but they all blamed Russia for it and were ready to go fight Russia. Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, they just want to fight Russia. Insanity. Sarah says, Elena, even most Republicans in America don't know this truth about Ukraine and Russia. Check out the show Redacted on YouTube. They speak and believe much of the same truth you have. Oh, yeah, Redacted show, I've seen them. But the truth of the matter is, I am actually from Ukraine, in case you didn't know, Sarah. So I probably know more than Redacted show. And I can actually tell you what both sources are talking about, Russian and Ukrainians, because I actually speak both Russian and Ukrainian. So, yeah, Redacted, good show, I agree. But I definitely know the specifics of Russia and Ukraine, probably quite more in depth of what is going on or what was going on. In fact, I was talking about what is happening in Ukraine and how the president was ousted since 2014 about this whole war. I was posting about it, talking about it. I was talking about Ukraine's Orange Revolution that happened in 2004. I'm sure you probably haven't heard about it. But yeah, people who follow me on my social media, and I talked about Hunter Biden's story when he received a job from Ukraine on the board of Ukrainian Burisma oil and gas company in 2014, just after Ukraine had the coup that was sponsored by Biden and Obama and all the other players that I named, Pelosi's and Newlands of the time. And just after that coup, an ouster of democratically elected Ukrainian president, Hunter Biden received a job at Ukrainian oil and gas company. Yeah, I was talking about all of that, guys. So to me, it's not new, but to some of the shows that you do see on YouTube, where were they in 2014? What were they talking about? Where were they in 2004? So yeah, a lot of people now come out and talk about problems of Ukraine. I was talking about problems of Ukraine in real time and what United States and Biden was doing there in real time. So, Sadie, even here it's hard to wake people up. Stop watching the news and watch shows like this. But I knew before. I woke up a long time ago and I live in Sweden. Yeah, thank you, Jeanette. I agree. The media has been lying to us and they continuously lying to us and they will keep lying to us. So uh, that's excellent assessment that we need to turn off the TV and the what is it, real propaganda, because if we keep watching what Biden tells us, we will be always sleepwalking and never understand what the real truth is and what the real players are, because they're doing the same things to us in America what they did to Ukraine, because the same people are in charge. And I kept telling it to people, wake up. Biden and Obama and all their cronies, they hijacked Ukraine from Ukrainian people in 2014, literally hijacked. And they rule in Ukraine. And we American taxpayers, I've been sending our taxpayer dollar basically to pay Ukrainian politicians' salaries, to pay their social packages. We Americans have been robbed. And they created this Ukraine into their little money laundering operation. And of course, now they don't want this to be closed by Putin. Oh, wait a minute. Putin wants to come and close their money laundering operation. No, Putin, we're going to fight you. We want to keep our laundromat of Europe, which Ukraine has become. Yep, that's what they do. And unless people wake up and start paying attention, they will repeat the same fate that Ukraine has basically received in America. We will receive the same fate of Ukraine in America if we don't wake up, because the same people who are in charge of Ukraine, quote unquote, in charge, are in charge of our own country. They're running it. We don't have freedom of speech anymore. Hello? They're definitely running our country. We basically are their slaves now. And the reason we're slaves because we don't know the truth. And if we don't learn the truth, if we don't seek the truth, if we don't speak the truth, we will remain slaves. What they say, the truth will set you free. Yeah, learn the truth, people. I'm glad that Janine made that comment. Salim says, don't worry, if the real war starts, the first country to receive Kinjal with nuclear will be Poland, who want war so bad. Before a missile reach Berlin, Paris, Poland will be shot first. Poland is hot first. Poland is playing child game. Yeah, Poland is in danger. Definitely, Poland is in danger. And so is Germany. Both of these countries, they are sleepwalking into some type of a big conflict with Russia. Borji Nielsen says, hello. We have Malin says, wow, I knew it was something like that, Elena, because you know so much. Oh, yeah, you're talking about me being from Ukraine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Malin. Exactly. Yeah, I lived in Russia as well, so I know pretty much the cultures of both countries. And of course, I speak languages. Of course, I know the personalities. I know who the politicians are. Yeah, if you want insider on Ukraine and Russia stuff, you're in the right channel. By the way, subscribe to my YouTube channel, ELENA USA Live. Subscribe and make sure to click the bell. So next time we go live, you guys will join the discussion. And the discussion with Scott Reeder, we had to reschedule for tomorrow. So hopefully it will take place tomorrow, guys. Check and click the bell to notify you when Scott Reeder and I will have the discussion, hopefully tomorrow. Says, I never knew you're native of Ukraine, watching live from Ghana. Well, it's, you see, I'm a good undercover then, right? Good undercover agent. I'm just laughing, guys. Yeah, thanks very much, Quantui. Knantui, I'm sorry. Okay, guys, I hope I don't butcher all of your names. I'm trying to read them without my glasses. Hillary Clinton says, Salim, and Ukraine war is a good investment for America. Well, if you remember John Kerry, he said when Nord Stream 2 pipeline and 1 was sabotaged and blown an explosion, by unknown, right? Unknown people. Oh my gosh. He came out and said, oh, but look, this is so good. We have investors already lined up. This will give us a chance to rebuild Europe as a green investment, a green new energy. And Tony Blinken came out and he said, oh, the explosion and destruction of Nord Stream is a great opportunity. Like, what? Yeah, I mean, I know you don't want it, Tony Blinken, but at least come and express some condolences to German people for the investments that they just lost in the sabotage, right? Or something. No, it's a great opportunity. That's what Tony Blinken said, and that's what we're going to run with it. So they have this green thing figured out. So John Kerry said the explosion of Nord Stream pipes will give American investors, which he said he has them lined up already, the chance to rebuild Europe into this new green energy. And Zelensky came out in Davos or something. Oh, his wife was in Davos, but he came out before. Either he visited Davos before or he sent something to Davos. Don't quote me on that. But he basically said, if you give us money, Ukraine will become a new green haven on earth, like new green energy hub. So they're pushing their green thing. So for sure. Jeanette says you and I should talk. Well, if you want, you can always join me on live stream, Jeanette. Send me a message. We could do it. Tom Casey, out of all cultures, Americans are the naughtiest. Oh, Tom Casey, be naughty again. How soon do you think we will have war on American soil? Well, you know, it does not surprise me anymore that to see a question like this, Sarah. Does not surprise me. If Biden is gonna keep pressuring escalation with Russia, I know Russia kept saying that Russia will not use nuclear weapons. They will not use them against Ukraine. They will not do this. They will not do this. But on the other hand, Putin did say that if Russia is pushed out of existence, he says, we don't need the world without Russia. Hint, hint. And Putin said, we will not be the first ones to use nuclear weapons, but we will not be the last. I mean, he speaks in these coded messages. And I don't know, the danger of this war in Ukraine, the longer it goes, the more chance of some type of provocation, some kind of mistake, some kind of a crazy, desperate politician trying to score some political points and doing something, blaming Russia or for China or for that matter, and us starting picking up wars with nuclear nations. This is not Iraq, people, or Afghanistan. We waltz into Iraq, we waltz into Afghanistan. And of course, Afghanistan was a disaster, and so was Iraq. But those nations did not have nuclear weapons. But if we're starting to pick wars now, and we upgraded, we quote unquote Biden, picking up conflicts with nuclear nations, what exactly are we trying to achieve here? Are we trying to bring the war here on our American soil, and some rockets will start flying our way? I'm sure they'll hit Europe first before they come here, but you just never know. You just never know. If you're talking about existential threat to Russia, which Russia deems Ukraine now and this war that NATO is waging against Russia as existential, I'm sure that everything will go into play as if it needs to. And as far as war on American soil, I'm wondering if you're talking about civil war. I actually have the little questionnaire. If you guys are on my YouTube channel or subscribe to my YouTube channel, ELENA USA Live, there is a community tab. Go there and answer some survey questions. I actually have some pretty good, cool questions for you. One of them, if America will see a civil war, surprisingly, you will be surprised to see some answers and the percentages of people who answered the different ways. Go to my ELENA USA and complete the on YouTube and complete community tab polls. I'd like to know what your opinion is. I think, Sarah, if this goes with Biden and Obama, depending on what 2024 is going to look like, and which way, so to speak, the 2024 is going to be going towards, and what kind of new disaster Biden will dream up for us, what kind of new, I don't know, world disaster they're going to dream up to wrestle with this time, because they already have their system. They know it works. They have to just create more of the same, and there will be more different global crises, and they will just keep creating those that so they could take more of our rights away. Question is, when do American people say enough is enough? I know Judge Napolitano, in one of his interviews with Alex Jones, told Alex Jones that he said, Alex, maybe not my generation, but maybe you and your children will see the breakup of United States, said Judge Napolitano. I thought, wow, that's an interesting point. So in other words, if America is going to become divided as it is now and get more divided and get more divided and gets more crises, that we're going to start, putting our people in jail for peacefully protesting, or if we're going to start, curtailing the freedom of speech to the extent of people will have to be, put in jail for speaking something, it's at some point people will have said enough. They will. It may be a few years, it may be 10 years. It depends on acceleration speed with which Biden and his cronies will continue having access to our institutions in America, because they've already destroyed Ukraine. So America, it will be their next project to destroy, and it looks like they're on the way. They're working on it. And if you want to know what these people are capable of doing to United States, Biden and his cronies, Obama and his cronies, just look at Ukraine. That's your preview, guys. I would not be surprised for the civil war or world war. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Never American people will never say enough, but nobody can say that because despair sits in. Yeah, American people are very patient. American people are very comfortable, and until American people continue having some type of comfort level, they will keep basically asleep. But at some point, when they cannot afford their energy bills anymore, and they cannot afford their grocery bills, and they cannot afford to buy a new home because the interest rates are so high, or they cannot afford all of the above, or send their kids to school or new college, education, whatever they cannot afford, when that all piles up on them like a big snow, like a snowball, and it mushrooms, maybe they will have to wake up and say this is enough. But I'm afraid that it may not happen until we are more starting to look more like Ukraine here. Yeah, the people who are in charge of United States are the same people who hijacked and destroyed Ukraine, and that's where the danger is, guys. And they keep telling us the same lies they told Ukrainians, and they told us about Ukraine. So they will keep feeding us lies until our streets of United States one day might start looking like Ukraine streets currently. That's a scary part. That's a danger. But you can expect anything from these people. But Americans better wake up. That's my message to Americans. Americans, wake up. What do you mean when? They're at that point now, says William Garrison. Yes, exactly. But William, a lot of people are, but not a critical mass to where they actually will start doing something about it. I mean, how many people wrote or called the representatives on elected officials on a daily basis to tell them, we had enough. What is going on? Inflation is through the roof. The war in Ukraine is robbing us. We're sending billions to the country we don't even have a border with, while our own people and veterans are homeless, sleeping on the streets. We have all this mess in our own country. When Americans will have enough, they will pick up the phone, email, or whatever, and start bothering their elected officials that basically will make a difference. But for right now, I don't even see any peace marches in United States. There is one that they're working on, I think in Washington, D.C., but I'm not sure if it will happen. We'll see. But this war has been going on for a year. Do you remember any significant peace march for the last year that Americans would come out? I've seen some in Europe. I've seen Germany, Italy, France. There's people come out with some flags, some slogans, and they say, we had enough of this Ukraine war. Let's stop it. We don't want NATO, whatever their slogans are. Even some Polish people go through the streets and says, this is to nie nasza wojna. This is not our war. So at least European people are doing something. American people, even though they cannot afford their groceries, they cannot afford their bills, they cannot afford to buy a new house because interest rates have been creeping up and up and up for the last so many years, they're still not in the streets. They're not protesting anything. So, yeah, they may be at the point, but there is no critical mass to show Biden administration that we had enough. There is no. And of course, they made a spectacle of January 6th that people are now afraid to protest. If you come peacefully protest, they could be rounded up for some type of insurrection and put in jail for indefinite time in America. People are scared to post things on the Facebook because they're scared of being labeled Russian propagandist if they post something, or misinformation, or be banned. Yeah, the world is insane. What we have in America, I have some comments here. I hope I didn't miss this one. I'm trying to skip. William says, yes, Joe has got to go and take his flunkies with him. Who are the flunkies? And I am in the United States, and I don't consider them part of United States. Well, they're definitely not working in the interest of United States people. If they did, we wouldn't have homeless sleeping on the streets while the billions of our taxpayer dollars goes to money laundering Ukraine. And remember that FTX scandal, that cryptocurrency, that when the money goes to Ukraine, Ukrainian government invests it into this crypto exchange, and the crypto exchange goes bust and finds out the crypto exchange owner, the guy is number 2 largest donor to Democratic Party, who pledged $1 billion to Biden for the next election cycle and donated hundreds of thousands, I don't know, millions of dollars, whatever the number is you pick, to the Democratic as well as some Republican candidates in the last elections. Yeah, nice little laundromat they have going on, and they're not working in our best interest, not at all. In their own interest, yes, self-serving interest and interests of their cronies, more like it. William, and I'm sending my praise. Be safe, good people. Thank you, William. Thank you. The same to you. Lord have mercy, I'm very late, says Ansu. Okay, Ansu, be quick. Just don't drive too fast. A couple of more comments. I've been throwing a fit since the beginning, and I'm doing what I can to try to help. Great job, William. We need to speak out. But people, if you find videos like mine, share them with your friends. I have tons of videos on my lives and on my YouTube channel, ELENA USA Live. Go copy a link, send it to your friends. Open their eyes, do something. Yeah, we can't just be, hoping that one day the politicians wake up and tell us the truth. We have to tell the truth to people we know, so maybe more of us will be awake and wake up to the truth of what's happening in Ukraine and in our own country. Our own border is totally open, and Biden is basically allowing the alien invasions through our southern borders while having us pay for the security of Ukraine's border. What? That's what it is. And William says, for my efforts, I've been getting the death threats. I understand, William. If you understand, guys, there is actually a list also that Ukrainian government puts together, and there is another list that whoever puts together, they all originate from Ukraine. The people who speak the truth, they put them on the death list and the kill list or hit list, and people on that list died. It's real. Scott Ritter is on that Ukrainian kill hit list. Colonel McGregor is there. Senator Richard Black is there. Tulsi Gabbard is there. Sitting United States Senator Rand Paul is in there. Yeah, it's real. They don't want the truth to come out, and they're willing to kill for it. This is insanity. And American citizens are being targeted by Ukraine, the country that American citizens pay their salaries and their pensions, and their politician salary is being grateful back to American taxpayers by targeting them for death. What? Yeah, that's the reality. I have seen how EU has changed, says Malin. Not long ago, people in the EU would have been completely shocked by the things that were happening. However, US media completely hijacked our everything. Yeah, you can't speak the truth in the EU. Now Google is going to ramp up and make things more difficult for people to speak. And they will label everything misinformation, disinformation. And those who voted for Obama, you can thank him for that, because he is the one who came out and started to promote that we need to fight misinformation. We need to fight disinformation. Yeah, it's Obama. And all of a sudden, all the media and tech companies are fighting misinformation and disinformation, which nowadays acquiesces to the truth. Because we know the truth about Ukraine, but try posting about it. Oh, that's Russian propaganda. Oh, you can't have this link because it's Russian media. It's Russian propaganda. Like, really? So yeah, they found their ways to suppress the free speech and the truth about just about everything, guys. So we need to wake up. And once again, everybody subscribe to my YouTube channel, ELENA USA Live. I have community tab there. Take participation in the poll about different issues that I post down there. Watch my lives, my previous lives. And I just wanted to pop in real quick and say that we're holding the fingers crossed that we have Scott Ritter for tomorrow instead of for today. So we had to do some last minute changes to the schedule, but we are going to hopefully resume and have that live that we were hoping to have today with Scott Ritter tomorrow. So I love you all, guys. And I want to say thank you for everyone's comments. And Tom says something. I'm not sure what exactly Tom was saying. What country has the biggest laundromat? Well, Ukraine now is the biggest laundromat of Europe, that's for sure. You don't see people here manifesting against inflation or war because they're not informed, says Salim. The official narrative on mainstream media is that inflation is routine. It means Joe and Democrats have nothing to do with it and can do anything until Putin. It's inflation is Putin's fault. I see. Unless Putin is removed from power in Europe, citizens are starting to get information, and as a result, they're on the street manifesting. Yeah, the Europeans are the only ones who actually I have seen show some life, and they do some peaceful protest against this war in Ukraine and army in Ukraine. So we'll see. Tom says, what? I have to wait, work late tomorrow. As far as the Scott Ritter alive, well, we'll see. We'll see. Sweet, I so be there. We're hoping, yes, for tomorrow. I said one tomorrow plus minus few minutes. So you guys, always when you have a live, or go into my YouTube channel and click the bell, because sometimes these things happen, and live shows are like that. Sometimes you need to make few last minute changes. But if you click the bell on my YouTube channel, ELENA USA Live, and it will notify you when we actually are live. So you don't have to, wait for a minute or two or a day in case something changes. And you will be notified when we go live. So holding the finger crossed that we could work out and be with Scott tomorrow. So, okay, guys. Bonnie says, thank you for the truth. I want to say all of you and thank you guys for being here and doing this quick live that was sort of instead of the quick live that we were going to have with Scott, I just wanted to come in and let you know that we have rescheduled. We'll have it tomorrow. Hopefully everything, the stars line up and everything works together. And I have another excellent interview that I'm going to be doing tomorrow as well with the Ukrainian. And he is a former Ukrainian diplomat, and he actually worked for one of Ukrainian presidents. And I'm holding the fingers crossed that I will have my interview with that amazing person tomorrow. And so as soon as I do and I get it all together, I'll post that interview too, and I will probably hopefully let you know when and how soon, but I'm hoping to get that interview tomorrow too. So have lots of comments still to post, guys, saying thanks. Elena, thank you. Camilla, thank you very much. Tom says piano next time. Okay, Tom, I already told you I can play piano. I can. Thank you, says Stephanie. Thank you very much. Keep waking up sleeping people with Scott. Invite everyone and invite their friends to subscribe to your channel. That's how we're going to get critical mass. Yes, guys, if you think you can do something for truth, something to do with, spreading the truth, that, bringing the truth to your friends, have them subscribe to my YouTube channel, have them subscribe to my Facebook page. You can do it. You can send links to YouTube videos. You can send links to Facebook lives and to invite them to subscribe to my page, invite them to subscribe to my YouTube channel. The more people we can wake up, the faster this insanity will be over. And I think everybody can do something. Very true, Salim. Very true. Yep, says Jeanette. Very true. Love piano, says Sarah. So do I. So do I. I went to music school 7 years, trained as a child, a classical pianist. So, yep, have a lot of talents. Tom Casey, being naughty. Katie says, thank you, Olena. Thank you very much, Katie. Guys, I am trying to... trying to say goodbye, and I keep getting more comments. I'll see you all next time, hopefully tomorrow, and hopefully with Scott Ritter on the next live tomorrow. Subscribe to ELENA USA Live on YouTube and click the bell to be notified of the lives and more videos coming out. Love you all, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.